Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton. I just finished watching Marvel's What If Episode 5. And when it comes down to my favorite spin-off books in the Marvel comics, one of my absolute favorites was the original Marvel Zombies. Just seeing all the Marvel heroes in their zombified forms and seeing some of them turn good or evil or just ending up in ways that you didn't expect them to be initially, made for a really interesting take on a zombie apocalypse story, even if the genre has been a little overplayed over the years. And when it comes to the MCU version of the zombie apocalypse, it's not without its flaws, but I do think that it is a pretty good way to infuse MCU energy with a zombie apocalypse. Let's get to the story, shall we? The story basically takes place during the events of Avengers Infinity War, where Bruce Banner, once again played by Mark Ruffalo, is sent back to Earth to warn everyone about Thanos. But when Thanos' cronies come in, turns out the world has a different problem. The fact that the entire world has been infected with a zombie virus that was brought forth by Janet Van Dyne when she was brought back after the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah, crazy, I know. And it turns out it looks like Bruce Banner has no hope, but Spider-Man, Sharon Carter, Happy Hogan, Kurt from the Ant-Man movies, Doctor Strange's cape, Bucky Barnes, and Okoye all happen to survive, and they try to find a way to get a cure. That's all I'll say about the story without spoiling anything. Basically, I really enjoy the fact that we get to see these iconic heroes as total monsters for once. It's definitely a darker and also really awesome way to see these characters. I mean, we get to see zombie Captain America, we get to see zombie Wasp, we get to see zombie Scarlet Witch. It ends up being a really interesting way to see these characters that we've known and loved for years. It's like if you see, I don't know, zombie George Washington or zombie John Wick. It just seems really odd at first, but it really does seem like the kind of story that What If was made for. On top of that, we get to see more gory action scenes than we'd expect from the MCU, especially because, you know, these are zombie versions of these characters, so it's not going to feel as bad to see blood and gore throughout, but it really is still shocking that Disney was able to pull this off while still getting the rating that you'd expect from an MCU property. On top of that, we get to see some really interesting character relationships that haven't really developed in the movies all that much. Not only do we get to see Happy Hogan and Kurt again, we get to see more Sharon Carter. We get to see Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther once again, as he gets to interact with Hulk and Spider-Man. Even Ant-Man gets to crack some good dad jokes along the way. And besides, I've always loved Scott Lang's version of the character. So that was really fun. Though I have to say, this is probably the second time in What If, in 5 episodes, where Hank Pym has something to do with the big problem happening. Albeit, thankfully this time it's unintentionally, as opposed to what happened in episode 3. I know people don't like Hank Pym from the comics at all, I don't either, but it still seems like it's a bit odd to do that again. But when it comes down to it, despite a few issues with a few of the plot twists, and the fact that I wish it was kind of a longer series, considering we only get one 30-minute episode about it, it takes advantage of every minute of it. That's why I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. See you next time.